I have never had any conflict with her, and I enjoy spending time with her when we all get together for holidays and other important events or celebrations. Until last week. Joe's parents passed away within a month of each other last summer, and it was devastating for all of us. Even though Joe and I had already been divorced for about a year, they still treated me like family, and I loved them dearly. Joe and Lily hadn't started dating yet, so she never met them, which is a shame. They were incredible people. Long story to get to the point, but I feel like the background is important. Last week, Sarah got a box in the mail from her aunt, who was responsible for dividing up my late mother-in-law's jewelry among the kids and grandkids. She had a huge collection of both costume and more expensive fine jewelry. I let Joe know about it, and he explained that some of it was left to me, so when he came over, we could sort through it together. Lily came with him, which was fine. It was extremely difficult, and we were both very emotional, so I'm glad she was there to support him. As we were going through the jewelry, we set aside a couple of cheaper pieces of costume jewelry for Sarah to have now, and I picked out a couple of rings, a necklace, and 3 pairs of earrings to keep, knowing that they will eventually go to Sarah as well. Joe and I agreed that the rest would be put away in the lockbox that we each have a key to at my house and would stay there until Sarah is older and it goes to her. One of the pieces being put away is a beautiful set of ruby and diamond earrings and a necklace that are obviously very real, and we believe were passed down from Joe's grandmother. Lily had been admiring the set and making comments about how well it would go with the wedding dress she had been looking at. They aren't engaged, or even with some of her date night outfits. Joe didn't say anything to her in response, and when she put them down, I wrapped them back up and placed them, along with the rest of the jewelry, in the lockbox. Since then, Lily has texted me multiple times asking about the jewelry and if she can just borrow it. At one point, she accused me of wanting it for myself and pointed out that Joe and I are divorced, so I didn't have any right to keep it. She also mentioned that when they get married, the jewelry will legally become part of their marital assets anyway, so I'm just putting off the inevitable. I'm not planning on wearing the pieces, per my agreement with Joe. I'll wear the pieces I picked out, and the rest will stay put away for Sarah. I have zero intention of taking any of it unless it's necessary, and even then, I'll let Joe know what's going on with it. Joe has been radio silent, and I haven't said anything because I don't want to cause any conflict that could impact Sarah. Is she entitled to any of the jewelry? What should I do? Commenter. She's a pushy one, isn't she? It's a big red flag, and I hope your ex sees it as such. The greed is really disgusting. Ops response. It's just so bizarre that this is happening now. She's been amazing since they started dating and has been great at taking things slowly with Sarah and building a relationship with both her and me. It's been nothing but green flags up until now, and I was so happy that he found someone who seemed so good for him and makes him so happy. I don't want to cause issues between them, but this is definitely concerning. If this is her true colors showing, she isn't someone I want around my daughter. First update 3 days later. So many of you asked for an update, so here it is really quick. I wrote this out yesterday and figured it was probably better to make a new post than to edit the other one with it. So yeah, here's what's going on. Joe took an extended lunch yesterday and came by the house without Lily. I explained to him why I was reluctant to bring everything up, but I was tired of being harassed about the jewelry, and that I feel strongly about it belonging to Sarah, not to either of us and certainly not to Lily. He agreed immediately and was shocked to find out that she had been asking about it, and then he got angry when I showed him the messages. I figured the best course of action was a face-to-face conversation with him, where I could hand him my phone so he could see the conversation for himself. That way, there would be no way for her to accuse me of making it up or photoshopping anything. It sucked to see him so upset over it, and I have a feeling that it's going to get worse because, from what he was saying, it sounds like Lily won't be around much longer. Regardless, she won't be allowed back in my home and won't be spending any time with Sarah alone if he doesn't break up with her. I also went first thing yesterday morning and opened a safe deposit box at one of the local banks. It's not the one I normally do business with, and as of right now, my name is the only one on it, and I have the only key. I was worried about the possibility of Lily having any kind of access to the jewelry with it being in the house, and until all of that is resolved, I feel better knowing that there's no way for her to get to it. Joe and I also discussed this when he came over, and he said that he agrees completely that it's the best course of action to safeguard Sarah's inheritance. All but one of the pieces I picked out also went into the safe deposit box. As much as I would love to have a couple of the other pieces to wear in remembrance of her on the really hard days, I would rather know they're safe. I still have the one piece that brings me so much comfort. All kinds of notarized documents will be on their way to me and should arrive by the end of the week, just in time for a meeting I have set up with a lawyer to determine what else needs to be done to ensure that the jewelry will go to Sarah without any issues or challenges. I spoke to the aunt who sent everything over the weekend after I posted this and requested that she send copies of everything pertaining to it, along with documentation from her as the executor, detailing what was sent to whom, etc. I didn't mention the issues with Lily, as I don't think that's my place. I'll let Joe decide whether or not to tell his family as he sees fit. I have an appointment later today with a GIA-certified appraiser, so I should be able to take all of that with me to the lawyer, along with the pictures and videos I took of each piece last night. I'm still leaning toward a trust as the best way to ensure Sarah's interests and assets are protected, but we'll see what the lawyer says and go from there. I feel terrible for Joe. He's a great guy, and even though our marriage didn't work out, I still care about him and always will. He's not just my child's father but also one of my best friends, and I want him to find someone who loves him the way he deserves to be loved. It's just that whoever that person is needs to understand that Sarah is always going to come first. Joe and I will always work as a team to ensure she's happy, healthy, and successful in life. Our relationships with each other and other people aren't going to hinder her in any way. Thank you to everyone who commented and offered so much good advice and support. I really do appreciate all of it more than I can tell you. I didn't expect this to blow up the way it did, and it's really overwhelming, to be honest. I probably won't update anymore or add anything else to this, so thank you again.